Mate. She said you were fat. That is well out of order. No, that's not cool, man. Well, listen. No, I'll see you in a bit then, alright? Okay. Well, yeah, you too. Merry Christmas, Bob. Bye-bye, mate. Hey, this is James at Falcons Fury Harley-Davidson. Today we're going to take a look at the Fat Bob. And if you like these videos, please consider subscribing so you'll get every single one when they come out. The Harley-Davidson Fat Bob, the most unconventional of all Harley-Davidsons. This came out in 2018. It caused quite a stir among the Harley faithful with its untraditional looks and that massive elongated LED headlamp up front. In the few years it's been released though, this has won the hearts and minds of those Harley riders. It is absolutely fantastic with that 114 Milwaukee-Eight engine to the upside down shocks, which they have a better name than that, but James cannot think what it is right now. Upside down, you know, inverted. There it is, inverted. It's a great bike. You may notice that I am not riding this bike once again because my tailbone is still on the mend. So young Nate was very gracious and said that he would take this for a test ride. I know, right? It's kind of, hey, you want to take a bike for a ride? Oh God, let me think. Yeah, okay, I will. So he did. Anyway, the 2020 Fat Bob. This bike is awesome. It is one of my absolute favorites in the Harley-Davidson lineup right now. It is unconventional, like we said earlier. It doesn't look like a Harley-Davidson does traditionally, and it doesn't really ride like one either. This has a ride which is more akin to I'm reticent to say sport bike, but it handles more nimbly than a lot of Harley-Davidsons, and that's up to the front end with the fork and the handlebars the way they are, and just the way you sit on this bike. So comfort, we're going over the bridge, we always talk about comfort. How is the Fat Bob? Well, it's really, really comfortable. The suspension on this is absolutely fantastic, so you really don't feel many of the bumps when you go over them. It really does absorb it really well. And the seat on this is one of the, I don't want to say one of the few seats, but it's definitely a seat where a lot of people say, you know what, I don't think I want to change this. I think this fits great. It holds you in, it's got a nice lift up the back, so when you scoot back in this, you're really planted on this motorcycle. So under heavy acceleration, you're not going to feel like you're falling off the back as you do with something with a more low profile seat. The handlebars look like they wouldn't be massively comfortable. When I first saw this, I thought, straight handlebars, okay, that's different. Then you actually sit on the bike and the way your butt is, your bottom, whatever, you know, your arse, the back end of you, the way that sits in. Your feet are forward and your hands go forward, but you're not squished in like a taco type deal. It's a very comfortable, natural riding position. One of the big advantages of the Fat Bob is that the lean angle on this is fantastic. It has probably one of the best lean angles of all the Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and when you're going around corners, you can really, really feel that. You can tuck this in and you can get it down low, and it's simple. Speed. This thing, it's fast. The 114 engine, it's a relatively light bike. It goes. The torque on this is absolutely monstrous, and you can get up to speed very, very quickly, but very easy as well at the same time. One of the things I really like about this bike is how simple it is up front. You can see here you've got the speedometer in the middle, which is digital, and then you've got the revs above it in an analog display, and then you have your traditional Harley-Davidson, your turn signals to go right and left on either side of the handlebars. Very, very simple. No windshield. You can attach a windshield very easily to this. Harley-Davidson make a quick attach one, so you can have it on or off, depending on your mood. And while we're here, I want to give a big shout out to Nate because it is really, really cold today. We're in Georgia, and Georgia gets a little bit chilly in the winter, and today is one of those days where you're like, it's cold. It's about 32, 33 degrees, so props to this man Nate for taking this thing out. And honestly, my tailbone really, it's not just an excuse because I didn't want to ride in the winter. I really did injure myself. So the stability on this it's really good. You've got those big tires up front and back, and again, a lot of people look at those big fat front tires and say, well, does that make it so it's a little bit harder to control this, to go around corners at slow speeds? Is it harder? And the honest answer to this is no, not at all. You really don't notice that big wheel up front, and it's weird because you look at it and you think, God, that's going to be really strange to ride. But when you get on it, it just isn't. And you can see here, we don't watch a lot of Nate riding, but he definitely rides this more aggressively than, let's say, last week he rode the Fat Boy. This one, you can see he gets this thing down in the corners, and this motorcycle wants you to do that. If you're looking for a Harley-Davidson that you can throw in the corners and really whip around, this is the absolute bike for you. It just takes those corners, it's just beautiful, and it really wants to do them. Now we're coming up to New Construction Corner, which is my favorite part because it's a nice long sweepy, and let's see how low we can get on this thing. And he's tucking it down there a lot more than he would on a traditional Harley, something like a Slim or the Heritage. You can definitely lean this over a little bit more. So people always ask, well, what are the disadvantages of a bike like this? It depends what kind of riding you want to do, to be honest. If you're looking for a motorcycle that you can jump on and hop from cafe to cafe, or go see your friend, commute to work, just do little things, then these are absolutely fine to do that. Can you do big touring on these bikes? Yeah, of course you can. You can put bags on the back, you can put the windshield up front, you can make this a touring bike, but that is not its intended purpose. So if you are looking for something where you really want to crush the miles, you're probably going to look at a touring bike rather than one of these new Softails. And there again, you can see you can really get this thing down in the corners, and then when you're rolling that throttle, when you're coming out the corners, it just comes to life. The torque on it just pulls it. It's like a freight train, but a really cool looking freight train. And okay, while we're talking about looks, let's talk about looks. The Fat Bob. Does everybody love this bike? No, of course not. It's polarizing to a certain extent because it doesn't look like your traditional fist in the wind Harley Davidson. It's a step forward. It's an evolution of all those things, and it really is. It's a blast to drive. It is, and don't tell anyone I said this, but it's one of the best riding Harley Davidsons that we make right now. It really is, and it's just hands down. It corners like a dream. It goes in a straight line like a dream, hopefully, right? What good would it be if it didn't? But this can hang with some of the other bikes that, if you're in the twisties, which we're not, this bike can hang. You can really get it over a long way before you're even thinking about scraping those pegs. And here we see low speed maneuverability, not a problem at all. That big tire up front really doesn't come into play. You can see Nate's just whipping it around these corners. He's getting down low on them. It's really cool. So who is this motorcycle for? And I feel like every time I ask that question, I say it's for everybody. I would actually say on this one that the Fat Bob is not for everybody. This is for somebody that wants a motorcycle that they can really get on, really get down low in the corners, have plenty of speed. That's who this motorcycle is for. Is it a great motorcycle to just sit back and cruise? It can do it, but again, it's not built to do that. This is not built to be a relaxed cruiser. This is, for want of a better word, a sports cruiser, which is a little bit of an oxymoron, but that's the Fat Bob. It's a sports cruiser. You can go slow on this, you can cruise down the street, wave at people. Who does that? Nobody. Wave at people? Hey, no, nobody does that, but you can just drive down the street on this, no problem. Or you can also take this into the hills and the mountains, and you can have a lot of fun on it. And that pickup truck is filthy. It needs a wash. See, we're stuck at a red light. Even when I'm not riding the motorcycle, I never know what to do at red lights. Just sit there. The exhaust on this, it sweeps up, and again that's a design choice that not everybody loves, but I think people are starting to get used to the way it looks. It comes as it is in silver, and I'll be 100% honest, I think it would look better if it was black, but guess what? You can put a black exhaust on there. It just kind of fits the bike a little bit more, but that's neither here nor there. That's an easy change. That sun is deceptive because it looks pretty, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really, really cold. The way this sounds is great too. The 114 it's got a nice rumble. It's a low rumble. It's not massively loud, but it's factory exhaust. It's not supposed to be massively loud. Again, you can change that if you want, but right out of the box, as I say, it sounds pretty good. So here's Nate heading back to the dealership. Anyway, listen guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it, Happy Hanukkah, and I'll see you on the other side.